American Indian, so I took a lot of my personal American Indian experiences, put them in the book. The horses in the book, some of the horses I had owned at one time. I was a wildlife photographer for a year, and I sold my work in Woodstock, New York, my pictures. So the animal encounters in this story are based on my encounters I had in the woods also, right down to the bear encounters. It's a story about a boy that's born with a disability and how he grows up, and through the members of his tribe, how he learns to adapt to his disability, and how he learns at the end of the story, you learn and see how he becomes a valued member of his tribe. Just because he was disabled didn't mean he couldn't find other ways of functioning and providing for his family. It's a beautiful story. It's got areas of it that is like a cliffhanger, like you feel like you're going to fall off the cliff and something horrible is going to happen, but it doesn't. It's got a twist to it that brings beauty into the picture. The mountain I talk about is Platter Cove Mountain. I used to hike at that mountain all the time. Just about everything in the story is real, except for a little touch of imagination here and there. I lived in a teepee for 3 months, so when I wrote about the teepee sequences, it's from my own personal experiences. I tried to take a lot of my life, especially with the cancer and the struggling, to show that I was also born with multiple disabilities, not just the cancer. I have 18 major medical diseases that have all been diagnosed in hospitals. So I'm not just fighting cancer, I'm fighting many other things besides. And I wanted to show how you can be disabled and yet still go on and lead a very functional, rewarding life. Okay. And that's basically what the story is about.
Yeah. Would you want to say something about your MS, like when you were diagnosed with that? Because that's been a major thing you've dealt with all your life.
That's very true. 22 years old, was diagnosed with MS that threw me right into a wheelchair. They gave me 5 years to live, and I said, I can't have that. So I, through my own, I guess, stubbornness, I refused to live a life in a wheelchair. So through my own setup of exercise programs I designed for myself to get myself out of the wheelchair, I'd say about 8 months later I was walking on canes, and a year later I was walking without anything. And that's when I decided God gave me a gift. I prayed for help, and He got me out of the wheelchair. I had to give back. So I opened up a horse ranch, which I built my own stable, and I had juvenile delinquents come and work on my ranch, and they had to maintain a B average in school in order to stay with me. And out of 10 students, 9 went off to college.
Hmm. And could you say something about the payment that you request when you give out your work?
Yes, most people would request money, the cover, the ink, and the paper, and the time that puts into getting the stuff, printed up and sent out. My payment plan is totally different than anybody else's. My payment plan is whoever wants my work, I freely give it to them, except they must give out an act of kindness and compassion to a total stranger. That's the only thing I ask, is to pass on an act of kindness and compassion to someone, maybe even a next door neighbor. They could bring cookies over there. I don't tell them what act of kindness or compassion to give. I leave that up to them to pass that on, because I feel the odds are very good that whoever they pass on that act of kindness and compassion to, I'm sure that other person's probably in shock because they're not used to it. But the odds are good they're going to pass it on also. They're going to do something kind and compassionate randomly to somebody else. And it develops that ripple effect. So we figure with over 725 copies spread out between the United States and Canada, we got a lot of kindness and compassion going.
And you wanted, as a last wish, really, to have that book, which you've given out as just paper, to be in the form of a book, to be able to give that to some of the people that have been a big part of your life.
Exactly. It would be in remembrance of me, and also to get a good supply amount to St. Jude's Research Hospital. That's been something I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. I just didn't feel comfortable mailing the manuscript for some reason. And I don't even understand why, because I sent everything else in paper, and they were overjoyed with it. But for some reason, I just felt like I had to have this in a book to get this to them. And many times I've gotten close with the money to get everything done, but then something always happened. And then if it wasn't the car, then it turned out to be an exorbitant amount of medical bills that I had to pay first. That always came first, was the medical, so that always took my money. So the book always went on the back shelf, so to speak. And I never got anything over to St. Jude's Research Hospital, and I figured, when I passed away, I had put a note for my friend who's going to handle everything, is just make copies of the manuscript and then send it over to him.
Okay. Well, when I heard about the foundation, and knowing Grace's desire to have this special edition, so to speak, Peggy told me about the foundation, and I thought it would be something that would be beneficial to Grace, and so we're very grateful that you are able to do this, and we're just very grateful.
Yeah, I am very grateful. I appreciate your kindness and compassion towards me.
Yeah, Grace has spent her life really passing on that act of kindness and compassion. She started a network called Angels Without Wings that reaches out to children in this area, in the Ulster area, and other groups have started those. It's sort of like, what would you call them? Fly-off, ripple effect that has started in other parts of the country and hopefully will grow. So
it's still growing now. Utah, different areas, towns in Utah are going above and beyond, acts of compassion, and I chat with friends now that I've made in Utah, and we talk about different things to do in nursing homes over there, and I'm constantly networking. That's what I spend my whole day with now, because I'm so weak from the cancer, I really can't go anywhere. So I spend a good deal of the time on the internet networking with the Angels Without Wings network to get more people helped.
Yeah. Would I be correct in saying, Grace, that this will add sort of an added level of peace to your leaving us, to know that these are out there and that you are making a difference?
Yes, I think it will. I think it definitely will add peace to me, to know, because this book is about my life, technically. I mean, all the disabilities I've had, and it's pretty in contrast into this book about my American Indian heritage and the way of life they've lived and the struggles they've had without disabilities and the struggles they've endured. And then to have a disability on top of all that, it's just an amazing book. I know Sister Maria, I think you read it.
Mm-hmm. I did.
If you want to give a comment, that's okay.
Well, I just think it's beautiful. It's very uplifting, very inspiring, and I know that people would pass it on, having read it.
I haven't received one negative comment. Mm-hmm. Everybody who's read the book has asked for more. Actually they want the sequel to it. There was supposed to be a sequel to it, but then I got so weak I couldn't do it. But they still ask me, where's the sequel? Don't die until you give me the sequel. I'm working on it.
Well, is there any, that might be all we've got to say, Peggy?
I think so. Well, thank you, huh?
Right,
both of you. And
thank all of you very much. much.
Yes, and we'll keep praying that your wish will be granted, and that others will be inspired and receive the hope that you hope them to receive, huh?
Well, I
So-
appreciate you even considering me. I mean, if
Yeah.
it doesn't happen, it's okay too.
No, it's going to
You
happen.
know, the manuscript will still go out like it has been going out since 2010. It would be, you know, a wonderful accomplishment to me to get my story out there, even though it's told through an American Indian little boy. But, you know, a lot of times when I write these children's stories, I look at it as if one child reads the story and inspires them to want to go to the library and get more stories and other books, other people's books. It doesn't have to be anything of mine. It just inspires them to want to read. That's a great accomplishment right there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, well,
So,
thank you. Thank
so-
you very much, and thank you, Grace, and
mm-hmm. Okay.
arrivederci.